Hi, my name is Don, and I want to welcome you to this course, The Hero Within, Bringing Out Your Inner Greatness. And I want to tell you that I believe that all of your life has been leading you to this very moment, just as my entire life has led me to this very moment. We're in a space where we're going to address and look at some principles that can change your life for the better. And I am very honored to have your attention, and I hope that you get everything that you need to get out of this course. And I wish you well on your hero's journey. All right, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is define what is a hero. We're going to look a couple places to answer that question, and as a starting point, we're going to look in Webster's dictionary. Webster defines a hero as 1. A mythological or legendary figure, often of divine descent, endowed with great strength or ability. 2. An illustrious warrior. 3. A person admired for achievements and noble qualities. 4. One who shows great courage. Okay, so the fourth definition, that is courage, is the key that helps us understand what it is that makes a hero a hero. And that's because someone who shows great courage is pretty likely to become a high achiever, number 3. And with courage, they might even become a warrior, number 2. And you never know, they might even become a legend, number 1. And so, being courageous is the bottom line. And that's because a hero is all about engaging in the struggle, overcoming adversities, slaying the enemy, and overtaking a kingdom to provide good for his or her people. That's what being a hero is all about. What I want to ask is, why would anyone do that? Why would anybody intentionally choose to enter a struggle? Why would anyone choose to face their fears and push through discomfort, especially when the odds for success might not be so great? And so Webster's dictionary is a great starting point, but it's not the end. We want to deepen and expand our definition of what makes a hero a hero. And for that, we're going to go to Hollywood. So stick with me, and I'll see you there. So here we are in Hollywood, and I must say that I'm having an awesome time, and I hope that you are as well. And while we're here, I want to put you up on something that most Hollywood insiders know already. It's called the hero's journey. It's like a theme or a pattern in books and movies that you've seen all your life. It's like a template or a framework that's used over and over. The characters and the situations and the actors may be different, but underneath it all, the story is the same. And we absolutely love that story. It excites us. It hooks us. We pay money to see it over and over again so we can cheer for the hero. Because we are so crazy about this hero's journey, let's take a look and understand what it is. We're going to break it down into 5 parts. The main character is called to embark on some huge journey, but they say no. When the call to go on this journey comes to our main character, it might come in the form of an event or even a person. Maybe something tragic has happened, like a war, or someone close to them has died. Or maybe someone just comes up to their front door and knocks and says, "Hey dude, time to go on a journey." But whatever the case is, they don't go. They're full of fear and self-doubt, and they say, "No, I can't do it." Number 2, the character changes their mind. Now, you know the saying, never say never. And that applies to our character, because something happens. Something puts the pressure on our character, and they make the decision to go ahead and take up the journey. The character fights and struggles, and they reach rock bottom. And so there's our hero. They've been betrayed, or they've been defeated, or they've lost in battle, and they've lost heart and they're ready to totally give up. But as you know, when you're at rock bottom, there's only one place to go. The character has a moment of truth. They have an awakening. When our hero has this moment of awakening, they come to understand that there is greatness within them, and they know that they cannot give up. When they come to this understanding, it gives them strength. So they get up and they go back to battle, and they know that they must succeed. The character triumphs and returns home a hero. And so after some final battle or showdown, our hero returns home victorious, and everyone recognizes them and hails them as a hero. Now, there are so many movies that follow this pattern that there's no way we can go through all of them. But we're going to go through a few. The Black Panther. T'Challa was called to succeed his father T'Chaka as the king of Wakanda, but fear and uncertainty caused him to hesitate, and when he did take up the journey, he was defeated, and Killmonger seized the throne. But T'Challa had an awakening, a moment of truth, and he rose up and defeated Killmonger and took his rightful place as king, and helped his people prosper. The Lion King. Simba's journey actually began as an escape when he believed he was responsible for his father Mustafa's death. But years later, in a moment of awakening, he realized it was his duty to return and battle Scar to take up his rightful place as king, which he did, restoring the kingdom to health and providing for the entire kingdom. Moana. Moana was destined to lead her people, but she had a longing to journey to the sea. When she finally began her journey, she thought she had to find a strong hero to save her people. But in the process, she discovered that she was the hero she'd been waiting for all along, and she rose to the occasion and saved her people and the world. Aquaman. Arthur left his home on land after becoming convinced he must take his rightful place as king of Atlantis. But he was still full of self-doubt, and his enemy took advantage of this and defeated him. But when he had an awakening of who he truly was, he became strong and empowered to take the throne, saving Atlantis and the human race. There's also Harry Potter. There's Luke Skywalker from Star Wars. There's Superman. Then there's Katniss from The Hunger Games. And how about Finding Nemo and Coco? And so we could go on and on with examples of the hero's journey in books and in movies, but the thing I want to point out is that they all have one thing in common. Although they might appear to be strong and so awesome on the outside, inside our heroes were the same. When they began their journey, they were afraid. They had self-doubt and fears, and they did not know who they were. They weren't sure if they should go on this journey, and they didn't know if they were the chosen one. Who am I to go on this journey? They thought. They were very ordinary, like you and like me. So, as a recap of what we've learned so far, we know that the hero's struggles we see in the movies, that is, the fights, the battles, the mortal combat, all of those are a reflection of the struggles that go on within the hero. Our hero has issues. They doubt who they are. They're afraid that they don't have what it takes. They wonder if they really are the chosen one. And so there are two things I want you to remember when it comes to the hero's journey. And the first thing is that when the hero's journey comes calling, it doesn't knock upon the door of a hero. It knocks upon the door of someone common and ordinary, like you and like me. And when it comes, it presents us with the opportunity to become a hero. Now, the second thing that all heroes have in common, and you must get this, is that they had a moment of awakening. They came to see who they truly are. They saw that they had greatness within them, and that gave them the courage they needed to get up, to slay, and to return home as a hero, not only for themselves, but for everyone else. I want to share something with you, and it's this. The reason that Hollywood makes so much money off this story, and the reason we love it so much, is because we have a deep psychological need to be a hero. We want to be important. We want to have meaning and purpose. We want to know with certainty who we are and what our purpose in this life is. We want to overcome our fears and our insecurities and overcome the challenges that it takes in order to be victorious, not only for ourselves, but those we love. We want to be a hero. And the truth is, it is possible. Because when an ordinary person like you or I comes to an understanding of our own greatness, then we stop being ordinary. All right, so you're still with me. That's great, because I have something important to share with you in this section. What I want to show you, what I want to demonstrate, is how the hero's journey, the principles that we've been talking about, apply to your life and how they apply to my life. And I want to show you that by sharing something very personal with you. I want to share my story with you. The reason that I want to share my story with you is because I've practically come back from the dead, and I've experienced massive success in quite a few areas of my life. Now, does that mean that I think I'm a hero? No, not really. But I know that I have a hero within, just as I know that you have a hero within you. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Don. In 2011, I was homeless. I was also a hardcore street-level drug addict. And when I say that, what I mean is that I would do almost anything to get high. And when I did, there was no telling where I'd wake up, in an alleyway, in a mental hospital, or even jail. I also had many mental health issues that were so challenging that even the courts had declared me to be insane. And there's more. By that time in my life, I had already served over 20 years in prison, mostly for bank robberies. Looking back at my life, I couldn't figure out why it had become what it was, or what I needed to do to turn it around. When I started getting high at the age of 10, I just knew that I was uncomfortable in my own skin. I just wanted to escape, and I was willing to do anything to get away from this feeling of discomfort, of unease, and I just wanted to escape. By the time that I was 13, my life had become so out of control that my parents had me committed to an inpatient drug program. They thought that I'd be home in a few months, but I never went home again. Instead, the rest of my teenage years were spent in youth homes, in juvenile detention facilities, and even youthful offender prison. And I was sentenced to adult prison for the first time at age 16. My adult years were more of the same, but worse. The drugs got harder, the prison sentences got longer, and it began to take its toll on me. And so in 2011, I was completely worn out. I was isolated and alone and disconnected from other people in the world. I thought that there was no way my life would ever turn around. I thought that I was a horrible person, and I came to believe that the only way out was to take myself out. But one day I had an awakening. I realized that I was not a horrible person. I realized that I was just as good as you. I realized that I had been looking at it all wrong. I saw that I was worth fighting for, and so I did. I reached out for help, and I started putting in the work, and my life did an amazing 180. For the first time in my life, I was finally able to get clean and stop using drugs. I went from being isolated and alone to having true friends and connections, and I also learned how to be a friend. I went from not knowing how to love or be loved to meeting the love of my life, getting married, and having two wonderful boys who are the light of my life. I went back to school for software development and landed an entry-level programming job. I worked hard and I advanced, and I wound up leading teams and becoming the director of software development, making software that integrates with banks. The founder of my company even said, "Don's transformation is simply amazing. To have overcome such adversity and, on top of that, to lead teams and create solutions that have helped our company grow from a local startup to the international success it is today is a testimony to the greatness within all of us that Don speaks of." I realized that I needed to give back and help people. So I began speaking at treatment centers, at high schools, at detoxes and homeless shelters, spreading the message that anyone, absolutely anyone, can have the life they want and become the person that they want if they can just catch a glimpse of the greatness they have within and have the courage to take action and chase what is rightfully theirs, a fulfilling life full of love and happiness and success. And today, I know as sure as I am breathing that the greatest thing that I can do is to spread this message of hope. And if I do, at least one person will hear it. They'll catch a glimpse and see the same thing that I saw that day, and their life will be forever changed. So I am so happy that I had the opportunity to share my story with you. And before we go any further, I want to make something very clear. You might ask yourself, what does this story have to do with me? And I'm going to tell you, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. And on the other hand, it has absolutely everything to do with you. I'll explain. So my first point is that this story has absolutely nothing to do with you. And what I mean when I say that is that I'm not telling you this story because I think you're doing bad. I'm not telling you this story because I think that you're headed in the wrong direction, that you might wind up becoming a drug addict like me, that you might wind up being homeless, or that you might wind up going to prison for a long time. None of those things. That's not why I'm telling you this story. Because the truth is, I have no idea how good or how bad you're doing in life right now. But what I do know is that there are some similarities regardless of where our lives are at. And so, which brings me to my second point. This story has absolutely everything to do with you. And I know that because I know that you want to be happy. I know that you want to have meaning and purpose in your life. I know that you want to have goals and dreams and to achieve them and to be successful and to be proud of yourself. I know that you want to look yourself in the mirror and be happy with and proud of the person that you see. And I know that you want your family, your community, and your people to be proud of you, to look up to you, and for you to be able to give back in a way that you've never been able to before. And another reason why I know that this story has absolutely everything to do with you is because, like me, you have a mind. You have a mindset. And in the next section, we're going to talk about how your mindset creates your reality. So stay tuned, and I'll see you there. So in this section, we're going to focus on mindset. And I'm going to share a few principles with you, and if you can just get a grip on these and internalize them and get them inside of you, they're going to provide you with some tools that will keep putting you back on top no matter what life may throw at you. So I'm excited and I'm ready to go. I hope you are too. So what we're going to focus on now is this principle. Your mindset creates reality. Now, that might seem counterintuitive in some ways, and I get that. And that's because it seems like reality is out there somewhere, and that we take it in and process it or recognize it somehow. That is, our sight, our smell, our hearing, our taste, and our touch, our five senses, they appear to be the inputs through which reality comes, and then we recognize it internally. Now, while that may seem to be true on some levels, and on some it is, the larger truth, the truth that really matters in your life and in my life, is that we do create our own reality. And I want to show you how that works with the story of the elephant. You may have heard the story of how some elephants are trained. When the elephant is just a baby, its trainers will tie a thick rope or a chain around its foot, and the other end they attach to a stake or a pole in the ground. And the baby elephant is unable to go more than a few feet from the stake or the pole. It tries, and it tries, and it tries, but eventually it gives up. And so when the chain or the rope is finally removed from the elephant's foot, it does not even try to get away. It's been trained. It's been domesticated. It's been indoctrinated. It believes that it's not supposed to be free, that it's not supposed to go to the jungle or to the forest or wherever its heart longs for. You know, it's a sad story, but it's true. And like the elephant, our mindset is what creates the world we see through our eyes. We may see a world full of hope and possibilities, a world that is for us and not against us, one that has lots of opportunities for us to become and to do whatever it is we want. Or, like the elephant, we may see a world of limitations. We may see a world that we have no choice and we're stuck with the hand that life has dealt us. And get this, Like the elephant, the world that we see becomes our reality. Now, the next thing that we are going to focus upon is a principle that you must come to accept on a deep level. And it's this: that you have meaning, that you have purpose, and that you truly matter. So in my journey, as you've seen, the most powerful thing that allowed me to finally break through and move forward was coming to an understanding of who I truly am. I saw that I had greatness within me, that I had meaning and value, and that I was worth fighting for. And when I began to see that, my reality changed. I want to tell you that you matter too. That regardless of how you may feel at any given moment, the truth is that you are infinitely valuable, that you are infinitely loved, and our world needs you to believe this as well. And it's true. All of us, we need you to come to understand and accept this truth, that there is no one on the face of this earth who is greater than you. That's a huge statement, I know, but it's true. You are just as valuable and important as anyone else on the face of this earth, and you have the absolute right to believe that, to stand upon that, and practice it in your life. You are worth fighting for. Your dreams are worth fighting for. The person you are today and the person that you will become is worth fighting for. You have something unique within you, and it's something that only you can discover and develop and give back to the rest of us. You have purpose and you have meaning, and it's not to live a life of mediocrity and defeat. No, you're here to have plenty. You're here to have plenty within and without, so that you can give back to your community, to your people, to the world, and help make this a better place. You are here to be a hero. And so I strongly encourage you to surround yourself with people who support you, who believe in you, and who trust that you do have what it takes. In fact, you are gifted in ways that you have no idea about yet, but you will. And when you do, you will follow it. And so I want to encourage you right now to summon everything you have and believe that it is possible. All right, so the next principle we're going to focus upon is made up of 3 words. It is possible. Those 3 words are words of faith and power. That's because the fact is, if you don't believe that something is possible, you will never put forth the effort to get it. Believing and trusting that something is possible is the first step in making that thing become a reality in your life. I want to share a story with you about the 4-minute mile. The year was 1954, and up to that point in recorded history, no one had ever run a 4-minute mile. Many runners had tried, and they all had failed. And so many scientists and athletes and many experts concluded that the 4-minute mile was just not possible, that the human body was not built to do that. But then came Roger Bannister. Now, Roger didn't believe all of that nonsense. Roger believed it was possible. So he put in the hard work. He practiced and he had discipline and he tried, and though he failed a few times, eventually he broke the 4-minute barrier, set a new world record, and the world was amazed. Now that's an incredible accomplishment for Roger Bannister. Hats off to him. He believed it was possible and he did it. But that's not what I want to share with you. What I want to share with you is this, that since 1954, almost 1,500 people have run the 4-minute mile. What I want to know is why all of a sudden are people able to run the 4-minute mile left and right? I'll tell you why. Because after seeing Roger Bannister do it, they believed it was possible. And so the moral of the story is that it is possible. You can have the life that you dream of. You can be successful. You can be a blessing to yourself and to others regardless of what you've been through or what your life situation may be at this very moment. I want to tell you that there is someone out there who knows what it's like to experience the things that you are experiencing, to be in the life situation that you are at this moment, whatever it is, and to yet be successful, to yet achieve their dreams, and yet to overcome whatever limitations they may have thought that they had. It is possible. Okay, so we have covered 3 principles in this section: that you create your own reality, that you matter and that you have greatness within you, and that it is possible. In the next section, we're going to cover some practical things that you can do on a regular basis that will help you along the way on your journey, on your hero's journey. Stay with me. All right, so here we are in section 4, and I am so glad you made it this far with me. I know that you now know what a hero is and what a hero is not. You know that it involves a journey of self-discovery, of self-transformation, of belief and faith and hope, and that it involves helping others along the way. You've heard my story, and you know that there are plenty of other people with stories of overcoming adversity in many different situations that mean that anyone can get on this journey and can succeed and build something great with their lives. And I know that you can as well. The hero's journey calls you. And the cool thing about it is that it's your journey. It's no one else's. No one can tell you how to do your journey. It's up to you to discover what's right for you and to follow that path with all that you have within you. Now, even though it's up to you to follow this path, there's a few principles that are helpful, and I'm going to point those out to you in this section and give you some pointers and what you can apply in your day-to-day life that will help you be successful and become victorious and become the hero that I know you want to be. The first principle we're going to cover is self-honesty, because it's the foundation of everything that follows. Paulo Coelho says that if you want to be successful, you must respect this one rule: never lie to yourself. And it's true. If we do want to be successful, the last thing we want to do is to allow ourselves to believe something that is not true. We've talked a little bit about reality in this course, about how our thoughts and our beliefs and our mindset create our reality. And in this context, self-honesty simply means that we are willing to practice seeing reality as it really is. It means that we are willing to correct ourselves, to watch our thoughts, and that when we notice our thoughts don't align with reality, we trade them out for ones that do. The key word here is not perfection, it's willingness. It means that if you're willing to take a look at your thoughts and trade them out with thoughts that are more aligned with reality, then you have taken the first step to being massively successful. I'm going to give you a couple examples of how that can play out. I'm not saying this ever happens, but let's just say for a moment my wife gently reminds me to take out the trash. I can put that off. I can wait till 7 a.m. in the morning if I want, when I hear the garbage man coming down the street, and I can jump out of bed, take that trash out, and put it by the road. He'll probably get it in time. But if I'm being self-honest, I know that given my history, if I put something off, it probably won't get done. And that means that my home will be a little less peaceful. So there are so many examples like this that self-honesty applies to. And in this one, it simply means that I tell myself the truth. I don't tell myself the lie that, oh, I'll probably get to that later. Self-honesty means that I handle my business. I know you get the idea. So I'm not going to give you another example about taking out trash, doing your chores, doing your homework, any of that stuff. How about this one? Let's say that somewhere in your heart you have a desire to learn how to play the piano. And at the same time, there's a twinge of fear. Maybe you don't know why. Maybe it's something you've heard in the past about your musical ability. Maybe it's a fear of connecting with someone to learn how to ask for help. Maybe you struggle with learning, or you don't know how to read music. Whatever the situation may be, let's put all that aside for a second. The first step in Telling yourself the truth and being honest is acknowledging this truth. You have a desire to learn to play the piano, and you must respect that desire, and you owe it to yourself to explore that and to discover if it's right for you. And so, since you acknowledge the truth that you have a desire to learn how to play the piano, you acknowledge the truth that you owe it to yourself to explore that, you make a conscious decision to be courageous and take whatever steps are necessary to do that. And when you do that, you'll know if it's for you or if it's not. Simple as that. That is an application of the principle of self-honesty. There are tons of examples of what it means to be self-honest. The main thing I want you to remember is that it takes practice. If you practice being honest with yourself regularly, you will develop strong habits and self-discipline that will take you far on your journey. Self-honesty translates into personal power. It's the power to make the dreams in your heart become reality. In this section, we are going to cover what it means to ask for help. Before we do, though, check out this quote. Everyone needs a coach. It doesn't matter whether you're a basketball player, a tennis player, a gymnast, or a bridge player. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. That is from Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. And when Bill says this, he knows what he is talking about. He has built a business that went from the garage to the globe. He knows what it takes to succeed. And according to Bill, if you want to succeed, you must have a coach. That's a great quote from Bill, but let's take it to another level. I want to challenge you to name one professional athlete who does not have a coach. And you can't. And the reason for that is because athletes understand that they are in it to win it. Because you can't be on a professional sports team without being teachable, without having a coach. And if you do stop being teachable, you'll be dropped from the team. The same principle holds true for Fortune 500 CEOs, for successful business people, and for entrepreneurs. And the reason is because they are in it to win it. They want to be successful so bad that they put their own ego to the side, and they are open to receiving input from other people who are experts and can help them in the areas they want to succeed in. Coaches, mentors, tutors, whatever you want to call it, they are willing to ask for help. You know, one of the biggest obstacles to being successful and bringing out your hero within is the idea that you have to do it alone, or that asking for help is weak. That is a lie. It's a lie that will rob you of all that you're meant to be. You aren't here to do it alone. You are here to learn from others, to take your game up a notch, to be successful, and to take others with you on the way. That's why you're here. It is not weak to ask for help. The point is, you don't have to go it alone. In fact, you can't go it alone, because to be successful, you must reach out for help. But the good news is, I know that help is available for you if you're willing to look hard enough to find it. That might mean reaching out to a tutor, a guidance counselor, a mentor, or a coach. If you are willing to reach out and ask for help and guidance along the way on your journey, I guarantee that you will learn some lessons along the way that will help you absolutely crush it. In section 3, we are going to talk about hard work. And there's a quote about it that I love. Check it out. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Success, however you might define that for yourself, involves a lot of hard work. There's no getting around it. But I'm going to tell you a little something about hard work and success, because really it's just another example of how mindset and reality works. You may have heard that if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. And it's true. If you do what you love to do, it's not going to seem like work. You may get exhausted and worn out, but you will absolutely love it. So the first thing that I want to tell you is that focus on doing what you love doing. I encourage you to not only work hard, but to work hard toward doing what you love and are passionate about. Because I'm telling you the truth, life goes by fast. Before we know it, everything we see will vanish. So let's spend the time that we have working hard toward what's truly on our heart, toward what really matters to us and that we love. If we do this, though we may work hard, we will work together to build something great. All right, so I want to spend just a moment with you to cover a couple things you can do daily that will help you gain clarity and sense of purpose on your journey. And it's simply called the daily. The first thing that you do is when you wake up, take 5 minutes to get your mind right for the rest of the day. It's that simple. You make a conscious decision to tell yourself the truth, to honor that truth, and to do what is right for you. You decide and make a pledge to yourself to let go of things that do not serve you and to start doing things that do. It's as simple as that. The next thing you do is before you go to bed, take 5 minutes to review your day. Were you straight up with yourself? Did you not honor your commitment to yourself in any way? And what can you do to change things the next day? It's that simple. The daily. You take 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And that is how the daily works. It's your secret weapon for success, and it helps you develop your own personal program to keep yourself in check and to make yourself accountable to you. If you practice this regularly, you will develop a foundation for success that will take you farther than you've ever dreamed. Doing the daily will become the foundation of your strength and your power and your success on the hero's journey.